The taping for a popular antiques roadshow was underway. Under the bright lights, a soft-spoken widow named Patricia Vance carefully lifted a stained glass lamp from her bag. She had one hope, that it might pay for $4,000 of dental work.
Please let this be worth something. Anything.
I am sorry, but this is a 1,970 is reproduction. Maybe you'd get $40 at a flea market.
$40? That's not even the admission fee.
Honestly, I'd donate it to Goodwill. Save yourself the closet space.
That lead structure doesn't look 1,970s. The patina is wrong for a reproduction.
The taping moved on. Patricia, face hot with embarrassment, gently wrapped the lamp back into her bag, while Frank was already turning to the next guest.
Just go home. Don't cry on camera.
Something doesn't add up. I need to get a closer look at that lamp.
As the crew reset for the next segment, Rachel made a quiet decision. She would find Patricia before she left the building. Patricia found an empty folding chair in a service hallway and sat down hard, the bag cradled in her lap. She felt the weight of $40 pressing against $4,000 of dental bills.
$4,000 for teeth. And I just gave away $20 to be laughed at.
A young woman in glasses appeared at the edge of the hallway, hesitating for a second before walking straight toward her.
Mrs. Vance? My name is Rachel Chen. I am a junior appraiser here. Would you let me take another look at your lamp?
Another look? Why? He already said it was junk.
The lead work on your lamp. It didn't look like something from the 1,970 ses. I've studied Tiffany techniques. I might be wrong, but I'd like to be sure.
You are the first person today who didn't call it ugly.
I just want to look at the base in better light. There's a bench in the parking lot. It'll take 2 minutes.
All right, 2 minutes.
They walked toward the exit together, the lamp swinging gently between them, carrying a secret neither woman yet understood. Outside, in the empty parking lot, the last light of dusk caught the stained glass as Rachel set the lamp on the hood of Patricia's sedan and pulled a magnifying glass from her pocket.
Just tilt it toward me, gently. I want to see the base in this light.
Patricia held her breath as Rachel bent low, the magnifying glass hovering over the bronze base where the metal had darkened with age.
That's not a reproduction stamp. It's deeply engraved. LCT with a date, Mrs. Vance. This says LCT 1903. That stands for Louis Comfort Tiffany. Your lamp was made by the Tiffany Studios.
Tiffany? That can't be. He looked right at it and called it junk. But that other appraiser, he said, it was a $40 reproduction. Donate it to Goodwill.
He was wrong. This is a genuine Tiffany mark. I need to photograph it now. From every angle. We can't let this mistake stand.
Rachel snapped photos of the mark, then scribbled a quick sketch in her notepad, the catalog number 1903 Lotus already forming in her mind. Patricia climbed into her sedan, the lamp now cradled like a newborn. As she drove off, Rachel watched the taillights disappear, a promise burning in her chest. Rachel spent the night hunched over her laptop, scanning old auction archives until a single catalog entry from 1989 stopped her cold.
It's listed as whereabouts unknown for over 30 years. This could be the missing Lotus.
She grabbed her phone and dialed Patricia's number, her hand shaking.
Mrs. Vance, I found something. The Christie's auction catalog from 1989 lists a Lotus lamp by Tiffany Studios, exactly like yours, and it's been missing ever since.
Missing for 30 years. Grandmama always said that ugly Christmas lamp would bring blessings one day. My grandmother called it the ugly Christmas thing. She brought it from her mother's house in Harlem. It's been in our family since before the First World War.
Mrs. Vance, if this is the missing Lotus, it could be worth 6 figures, maybe more, but we need Sotheby's to authenticate it. A specialist in decorative arts.
6 figures. I can't breathe. This can't be real. What do we do? I don't know anyone at Sotheby's. I don't know how any of this works.
The line crackled with silence for a beat, but Rachel's voice came back steady. I'll make the call. You keep that lamp safe. We're going to need it. The next morning, Rachel called Sotheby's New York office and was transferred to Cecilia Dumont, a decorative arts specialist with a reputation for spotting forgotten masterpieces.
Miss Dumont, my name is Rachel Chen. I am a junior appraiser with the Roadshow, and I believe I found a lamp with a genuine Louis Comfort Tiffany maker's mark from 1903.
1903. That would place it in the Lotus series. Only 4 were documented. If it's authentic, it's been missing for over 3 decades. Please send me the photographs.
Rachel emailed the photos. Within minutes, Cecilia's voice tightened with that rare tone reserved for lost treasures.
A Tiffany Lotus? They're rarer than Fabergé eggs. If this is the missing one from the Christie's catalog, we're looking at a 7-figure appraisal. I need to see it in person.
A meeting was set for the following week. Rachel hung up, heart hammering, and turned from her desk to find Frank Morrison blocking the doorway with a face like thunder.
I heard you've been making calls about that hideous lamp. You are a junior appraiser with 3 weeks of experience, and you are trying to make me look like a fool on national television.
I am not trying to make you look like anything. I am following professional standards. That lamp has a genuine Tiffany mark, and I am not going to pretend I didn't see it.
Drop it. I am warning you. You don't embarrass a 30-year career on a hunch. If you keep pushing, you'll be out before the season ends.
He turned and walked away, but not before Rachel saw the fear behind his anger. She was shaking, but she didn't delete the Sotheby's appointment from her calendar. Patricia held her breath as she and Rachel stepped into Cecilia's sunlit office, the padded case clutched against her chest like a holy relic.
Set it here, Mrs. Vance, on the examination table. I want to look under proper light before I say a word.
Cecilia pulled on white conservation gloves and tilted the lamp under a black light. The stained glass glowed with the unmistakable iridescence of Tiffany Fiverail.
The glass is authentic Fiverail. The bronze work is unmistakably Tiffany Studios. Mrs. Vance, this is the missing Lotus. It's been lost since 1913. Lost for 100 years. And Grandmama just called it ugly. Oh, Lord. $40, he said. He told me to give it to Goodwill.
It's not $40, Mrs. Vance. It's a national treasure, and the whole world is about to know it.
We'll catalog it for the December Important Decorative Arts Sale. The estimate will be $800,000 to $1.2 million. What do we do now? I've never even been to an auction.
We schedule it now, before anyone tries to stop us. Frank already warned me to drop it. He'll try something.
Frank Morrison learned about the Sotheby's authentication through a call from a former colleague who'd seen the catalog entry. He slammed the receiver down so hard the vanity mirror shook.
That junior appraiser and that old woman, they're going to destroy 30 years of television. Not if I bury it first. Greg, you have to edit my segment out. That lamp is genuine. If the public sees me calling it junk, my career is finished.
Frank, I can't just cut an appraisal. There are network standards. We film, we air, that's the deal with the audience.
I've been the face of this show for 15 years. You owe me. Cut it, or I walk and take my spin-off with me. The network won't like that.
Greg's face tightened. He hated being squeezed, but Frank's spin-off brought millions in ad revenue. With a heavy hand, he picked up the phone and dialed Patricia's number.
Mrs. Vance, this is Greg Sanderson, senior producer. I am sorry, but your appraisal segment with Frank Morrison won't be included in the broadcast. It's an editorial decision.
What? But the lamp, it's been authenticated by Sotheby's. It's worth over $1 million. You were just going to pretend that never happened?
I am sorry. The network reserves the right to make final creative choices. Good evening, Mrs. Vance.
Then, we give the story to the Philadelphia Inquirer. They have a culture reporter who loves exposing this kind of thing. They can't hide a $1 million mistake.
3 days later, Patricia and Rachel sat before a reporter from the Philadelphia Inquirer, the lamp between them on a cluttered newsroom table, all the evidence spread out.
He looked at my grandmother's lamp for maybe 10 seconds and said, "Donate it to Goodwill." I almost did.
Sotheby's confirmed it's the missing Tiffany Lotus, appraised at over $1 million. and the show tried to bury the whole thing.
The next morning, the front page blazed with a headline that shook the antiques world. Roadshow appraiser dismisses $1.2 million. Tiffany as junk.
That front page is a career obituary. Rachel Chen will never work again if I have to end her myself. You are finished in this industry, Chen. Nobody hires a traitor who stabs a 30-year veteran in the back for a headline.
I didn't stab anyone. I told the truth. And the public deserves to know that a widow's lamp isn't trash.
By afternoon, the story was trending nationwide. Greg appeared on a news segment, visibly uncomfortable, to issue a weak defense.
We are reviewing our editorial decisions internally. Frank Morrison is a valued member of our team, but we take accuracy seriously.
Rachel walked out of the building that evening with her head high. But inside she knew Frank Morrison would try to destroy her before she ever got to see the auction. The next morning, Frank cornered Rachel in the shared office, a formal disciplinary notice in his hand.
Final warning, Chen. Drop this lamp story and the press interviews by Friday, or you are dismissed for insubordination.
He's really going to fire me. My career could end before it starts. Mrs. Vance, Frank says I am fired if I don't drop everything by Friday. I thought you should hear it from me.
Rachel, I can't let him destroy your career. Maybe we should just stop now, before it gets worse.
Number. If we stop now, he wins, and the truth stays buried. But I need to think.
Patricia hung up and drove to her grandmother's old church in Harlem, seeking the silence of the sanctuary.
Grandma Eleanor, what would you do? You faced harder things than a television man trying to scare you. Stand firm, baby. She always said that. Stand firm.
She took out her phone and texted Rachel, "Whatever happens, I'll stand by you. We're going forward with the auction." The next day, Patricia arrived at Rachel's apartment with a promise burning in her chest. She sat across from the young woman and spoke the words she'd been holding.
If this costs you your job, I'll pay for your graduate program. Every cent. You shouldn't lose your future because you helped a stranger.
She means it. A woman who was counting pennies for dental work is offering to pay for my whole education. Then, let's make sure the whole world sees what Frank tried to hide. I am not backing down.
They shook hands across the table, a quiet pact between a widow and a junior appraiser who refused to let truth be erased. That afternoon, they called Cecilia Dumont together on a three-way line. Patricia sat in her living room, Rachel at her office, both phones pressed to their ears.
The catalog is live. Lot 47, the Lotus lamp. I've already had 3 calls from major collectors. The estimate holds at $800,000 to $1.2 million.
Cecilia! Frank Morrison threatened to have me fired. Is there any way he can stop the sale?
He called me this morning, demanding I pull the lamp. I told him it's already in our catalog, Mr. Morrison. It's out of your hands.
8 weeks until the auction gavel fell. Patricia and Rachel hung up with their separate phones clutched tight, the distance between them smaller than it had ever been. A week before the auction, Mia drove up to her mother's apartment and found Patricia sitting on the worn sofa, the Sotheby's catalog open on her lap.
Mom, this catalog says $1.2 million. You really think it'll sell for that much? That's what they tell me. I am trying not to count the money before it's in the bank, but I can't help dreaming a little. I've been poor too long to believe anything is real until I see it. But oh Lord, I want to believe. I want to give $200,000 to your great-grandmother's church in Harlem, the one that held us up when we had nothing. You'd really do that, Mom? Even before buying yourself something? I want a home, baby. Our first home. A place with no leaky roof and no landlord knocking on the first of the month. She's never owned a house. All her life. Renting rooms, working double shifts. This would change everything. And I promised Rachel I'd pay for her graduate program. She risked her career for us. A promise is a promise.
They sat together, with the dreams glowing between them, the future so close they could almost smell fresh paint. But the auction waited, and nothing was certain yet. Auction morning broke cold and clear over New York. Patricia descended from the train with Rachel, the Sotheby's catalog tucked tight under her arm. Inside, the lotus lamp glowed on a rotating pedestal under a single spotlight. Rows of bidders murmured, phones pressed to distant ears.
It looks like it belongs in a museum. I can't believe Grandmama kept it on a doily.
Let it stop below the estimate. Let it be a fluke.
Lot 47, the Lotus Lamp, Tiffany Studios, 1903. I'll start the bidding at $300,000. $300,000. $350,000. $400,000. Now $550,000.
Patricia's free hand trembled. Rachel squeezed the other so hard their rings clicked.
$600,000. $650,000. $700,000.
Number higher. I can't watch this.
The bidding soared past 800,000. Patricia's heart hammered in her ears, the gavel poised to fall at any moment. A phone bidder drove the price past $1 million. 1,100,000. 1,200,000. For a breath, no one spoke.
1,200,000 going once, twice, sold to the telephone bidder.
The gavel slammed down. The digital display froze. $1,200,000. Patricia gasped, her knees buckling. Rachel caught her, sobbing into her shoulder. In the back row, Frank Morrison shoved his chair back and stormed through the exit, the door slamming behind him. Patricia stumbled into the cold air outside, Sotheby's, and dialed her daughter with trembling fingers.
Mia, baby, we did it. $1.2 million. Grandmama's ugly lamp.
Inside, the applause surged. Rachel wiped her eyes and looked toward the door where Patricia had gone, her smile finally breaking through. Dealers and collectors surrounded the pedestal, the lotus lamp, now a legend. Patricia knelt on the steps, the phone still against her ear, and let the tears come. Rachel found Patricia still on the steps and knelt beside her, pulling the older woman into a tight embrace.
You believed in me when nobody else did. I would have donated that lamp to Goodwill.
You kept it safe all these years. I just followed the lead.
They rose together, the winter wind cutting through their coats, but neither felt the cold. Hours later, in a dark supply closet, Rachel's phone glowed with a message from her producer. Greg wants to talk. Not fired yet.
Not yet. That's a crack of daylight.
She pressed the phone to her chest and breathed. Back in her cubicle, she pulled up the photo of the lotus lamp, her smile small but real. The job hung by a thread, but for the first time in weeks, that thread felt like it might hold. A week after the auction, Patricia stood in the sanctuary of Mount Olivet Baptist Church, a ceremonial check for $200,000 in her hands.
The elder said Grandma, Eleanor would be proud. I wish she could have seen this day.
She passed the check to the pastor, while the congregation rose in applause. Camera flashes, catching the moment for the local news. That same afternoon, Patricia and Mia sat in a real estate attorney's office, a stack of mortgage papers in front of them.
You are really buying a house, Mom. No landlord, no notice to vacate.
First home in our family's name. Your great-grandmother never had one. Now we do.
She signed the final page and slid a new set of keys across the table to her daughter. Outside the little two-story colonial, a sign now read, "Sold." Patricia touched the front door like a prayer answered.
All those years of renting, of counting pennies, this is real now.
With the church donation made and the house secured, only two promises remained: Rachel's scholarship and the truth about Frank Morrison's future. Patricia drove to the roadshow production office and found Rachel at her cubicle, research notes spread across the desk.
I made you a promise. Same as the one you made me.
She slid the envelope across the desk. Rachel opened it with trembling fingers. The Patricia Vance Decorative Arts Scholarship, full graduate funding for Rachel Chen.
She remembered the promise. All of it. My whole education paid for. You didn't have to do this. I was just doing my job.
You didn't have to help me either. You believed in me when it cost you everything.
It didn't cost me everything. It gave me a mission.
They embraced in the cramped cubicle, and for a moment, the entire office seemed to hold its breath. The scholarship letter lay on the desk, another promise kept. Only Frank Morrison's shadow still lingered over the show. The long-delayed roadshow episode finally aired. Inside the editing bay, the timeline showed Frank Morrison's segment marked with a red delete. A social media post read, "They cut the whole Frank Morrison segment, but we remember." Screenshots spread within hours.
Due to editorial considerations, certain segments were not included in the final broadcast. We maintain the highest standards.
Behind the scenes, Frank Morrison's career dissolved in real time. The call from the network came that afternoon.
They're letting me retire early. No public inquiry. Just disappear quietly.
The next morning, a press release sat on his desk. "After 30 years, I am retiring to spend more time with family." A small, "For sale" sign leaned against the frame. Frank Morrison's 30-year tenure was over. Online, the public declared a quiet victory. The roadshow issued no further comment. Rachel Chen received the news quietly at her desk, then opened a fresh research file. The roadshow would go on without Frank Morrison. The shadow of Frank Morrison had passed, and Patricia Vance was about to be invited back. 2 weeks after Frank Morrison's retirement, Rachel Chen was called into the executive office and handed a new contract. Senior Appraiser, her own segment.
I can't believe it. My own segment. After everything he tried to destroy.
She pulled out her phone and dialed Patricia's number before the feeling even settled.
Mrs. Vance, I am a senior appraiser now. My own segment. After everything Frank did, I am still standing.
That's wonderful, Rachel. You earned every bit of it. And I've got some news of my own.
She had just opened her mail. A formal invitation from the roadshow asking her to appear as a guest expert.
Guest expert? Me? The same show that cut my segment wants me back. They've invited me back, Rachel, as a guest expert. I'm going to sit at that same table where a man told me my lamp was junk.
You are going to show them what real expertise looks like. I'll be watching from the wings.
She ended the call and looked at the invitation again. Patricia Vance, guest expert. The circle was nearly closed. The night before the roadshow taping, Patricia drove alone to a quiet cemetery on the edge of Harlem. She knelt at a modest headstone, the name Eleanor Vance catching the last light of dusk.
I hope I make you proud, Grandma. They're going to sit me at the same table where they called your lamp junk. I wish you could see it.
She placed a single white lily at the base of the stone.
All those years, you said it would bring blessings. You were right.
The gravestone read, Eleanor Vance, 1929 to 2020, and the flower lay still in the evening air. Patricia stood slowly, touching the top of the stone.
I am ready now. Thank you for everything.
She walked back to the car with a peace she hadn't felt in months. The next morning, Patricia walked onto the roadshow set and took her seat behind the appraisal table. A nameplate reading Patricia Vance, guest expert, beside her hands. A young woman stepped forward, clutching a worn quilt as though it might unravel.
Is this really worth something? It was my great-grandmother's, made during the war. Let's take a close look. The stitching always tells a story.
She pulled out a magnifying glass and traced the intricate handwork with a soft smile.
It's priceless because of the love in every stitch. But yes, it's also a fine work. A soldier's quilt, probably from World War I.
I thought it was just an old blanket. Thank you.
No. It's a piece of your family's history. Cherish it.
The director called cut, and the crew burst into rare applause. Patricia looked down at the nameplate beside her hands, the word expert glowing under the studio lights. That evening, Patricia came home to find Mia, already on the porch, the replica lotus lamp glowing on the table between them.
She would have loved this porch.
She's here, Mom. In the lamp, in the story, in us.
Grandma was right. It was a blessing all along.
They opened the old photo album to Eleanor's picture, her gentle smile looking up from the page. The frame beside the lamp caught the last light of dusk, a daily reminder. The lamp's stained glass painted colors on their faces, just as it had on the night she first held it.
I am glad we didn't give it away.
Me too.
The dusk deepened around their first home, and Patricia Vance sat in the quiet peace of a story that had finally come full circle. The lamp, not the original, but its echo, glowed on the new porch as if carrying a century of quiet witness. In the glass, every color her grandmother once saw had finally found a home. Patricia rested her head against the doorframe. The mortgage papers signed, the church donation delivered, the scholarship letter framed on Rachel's desk. Somewhere in Philadelphia, a young appraiser opened her laptop and smiled at the catalog photo. Not for what it was worth, but for what it had made possible. Frank Morrison was gone from the screen, his name erased from the credits his ego had once demanded. The roadshow would tape again next month, but Patricia's seat would stay warm. She thought of the young woman with the quilt, of the words she'd offered, because she knew how it felt to stand there hoping. And in the cool evening air, the lamp's light touched the railing like a promise kept. Patricia Vance closed her eyes and didn't ask for anything more. Outside, the first star appeared, unnoticed but constant, much like the blessings she'd been taught to trust.